All right. All right. How many people say they were a business owner or self-employed? I say you do real estate, right? You self-employed? What you do?
Hair and nails.
Hair. Okay, hair and nails. All right. Come on, through then. What is that? What's that A word?
Some of the esthetician.
There you go. It started A or E? I don't. Okay, so that no, here's a okay. Hey, that's my girl right there. You know what I mean? Okay. One of them words start with A. I know what I'm talking about. One of them words start with A.
That's why I knew what you was talking about because I was like, it's both.
I just know it's. Yeah, you want it. Okay.
That's not what that is. No, it's not. Aesthetics is skincare.
No, I was figuratively speaking, man. I know that.
It's like beauty, somewhere in the beauty industry. It gets it all. You got the aesthetics.
Let me see. Okay, let's talk business. One of the most important things I deal with, of course, in the community, I help people structure the businesses correctly. I ain't gonna say help them start LLCs because I help people start more than just LLCs, but help them structure it correctly. This is one of the most important points. Through my learning of education and then educating others. If you operate as a sole proprietor, it's important to understand there is no legal or financial separation between you and your business. What does this mean? If you are a sole proprietor, first of all, a lot of us in our community, we assume that title anyway because we haven't registered anything, and then we do and still choose to. One of the most important things to understand about structuring a business is, and I'm always say they, the others, the ones in front of us, we know who I'm talking about. They understand this to the T and never touch it, because the idea is if you do hair and nails, she done did my hair, burned me with whatever she using, she did my nails, broke my finger. Now, when she's a sole proprietor, I need everything. I need your house for my pain and suffering. I need your car for my pain and suffering. I need your kids' clothes for my pain. So I need everything. And I'm speaking in an instance, but this can actually happen because you have no limited liability. You assume all the risk. And if you're dealing with those in front of us, they're going to get you for whatever they can. And hell, your own kind, to be real with you. So it's important to understand, I'm not going to tell a person to switch or convert unless we have a conversation about what their goals are. This is even deeper than what I'm talking about. I'm going to hit on it. I'm not even talking about the legal and financial. I got a whole nother wave of why you should. But this is very important. And you know if you're a sole proprietor because if you have not registered LLC or any other thing through your state, you're either sole proprietor or you're just someone saying you got a business. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We got a lot of them too. We got ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, I'm self-employed. Yeah, all right. All right. That's what you do. Street pharmacist. So, business credit. Man, this is an amazing topic. I love talking about it. I love offering services for it. Damn, that's what I'm talking about. About 5 minutes late, you're ignorant. All right. Thank you, man. Meet you. I appreciate it. Nikita, yeah, please, you know, bro, little stuff. All right, this is one of the, this is such a prominent topic, right? I already don't even get into because that pizza came in. But I'm gonna touch on it. This is such a prominent topic right now, man, in our community because, you know, we get so attached to sensation. When we hear something, we locked in. Oh, you can buy, oh, I'm gonna buy me a car in. You ain't been in business 6 days. You don't know, you ain't got your done. You don't know none of that by heart. It's not happening. So, building business credit plays a crucial role in your company's funding ability. Whether you operate as a limited liability company, LLC, or a corporation, your business has the ability to establish a credit file separate from you as an individual. That's why that's important. I tell people all the time, because I deal with credit on both sides, starting an LLC isn't even as much about the not being a sole proprietor as it is about understanding how to build the business credit. You cannot do that if you don't have a separate entity. That's why sole proprietor sucks, right? Unless you want to be that. I have a business that I'm a sole proprietor in, but that's because I buy something and I sell it. I have no risk in it. I take it how it is, I sell it how it is. I don't need no LLC for that. Not because of that, but that's just what I buy and sell. I don't need, there's no risk. So it's important. Everything I talk about with starting a formation is to deal with credit. You can come to me with the best idea ever, and I'm gonna hear every word you said, but I'm gonna always lean towards the credit because when you talk about the car, the house, the jewelry, whatever you want through the business name, You have to have credit established, not only to see success in doing it a lot, but just to get it started. Just think about this information. It's people that have had LLCs for years, don't know shit about business credit. And you know, it's amazing to me because it's like, we know they do, but being that they do and someone in your community does, you may feel because you make enough cash flow, you good. And that mentality in a shell has kept us where we are. Everything is sky's the limit. It can't be, I'm good, so I don't, no, you're not good. Because if your business flops and you use all your cash, how do you get back? So if you leverage and your business is doing good, you know, if you fall, you got something to fall back on. This is simple understanding. But it's very, this one is going to be long, I'm telling you now, because business credit is everything, and it's a different monster out here when you play this game. When you register a business, LLC, LLP, or corporation, LLP being limited liability partnership, corporation being a corporation. Again, I'm a terminology guy. People will say, I got an S corp, I got a C corp. Slow down, big fella. You don't form an S corp or C corp. You classify yourself as from tax perspective. This is important because in our community we just get to talk. And I'm not I want to correct you. I'm gonna speak the facts. You can have an S corp. Yeah, you fill out the paperwork, give it to the IRS. That's a tax classification. That's what that is. And all that means, in layman's terms, and I don't want to say it like that, but like S corp for me, how I explain to someone that don't know, is like small, C corp is big. So you'll hear people say, if you make this much money, you need to be an S corp. It's all on you and what you want your classification to be as it pertains to how you set your business up and what you do, how much money you make. Pass-through income, not being taxed twice. That's how you avoid that. Me, I have several single-member LLCs, so I can do 1102S, 1120S, because I'm out of tax season now, forgetting the number. 1120S for me in my tax return, and it'll help me liability-wise. If I make $1 million and I might owe $75,000, now I might owe $40,000 because of the pass-through and all the other income not being counted. So it's a trick, man. You don't understand what I just said, you come see me tax time if you're self-employed. And I'll do it for you and help explain it while I'm doing it. But those are classifications. It becomes recognized as a separate legal entity with the ability to enter into contracts. It's treated as a separate being from you as an individual. So imagine, right? This is the life I live, and I'm not gloating or nothing. I have my credit that's great. Every one of my businesses has a credit report that's great. So I need 20,000 over here, okay, bet. I need 75,000 over there, okay, bet. I need 100,000 over there, okay, bet. This is the trick. You see it with your eyes and don't know that's what's happening. There is probably the greater of the population, people that have made enough money to use the money. But there's two specific groups from an ethnic perspective that know this stuff and do it. You can guess those two, I'm sure you know in your head. And so that's what they understand and utilize that. If I start a business, and that's all I did after a point, once I got educated, I just started 3 more LLCs. So this is just in case I go broke. If I ever just lose it all, I have something to fall back on. It don't matter. I might start one today for skin and nails and hair. I might do that today. You know, I mean, I'm being serious. I might just start one because my goal isn't to be like I'm a business. Like I don't even care about doing the work because I wouldn't do it no way. It's this has its own reports. I give myself 2 years, I can get 100,000. As long as I put this on my taxes and I showed it made money, they're gonna get it to me. We know when we apply what they ask for when you self-employed, bank statement, tax returns, right? So I make dummies. You can get that too, just so y'all know I make. Bank statement. Yeah, I gotta put it out there. Get my yeah, I gotta do that. I gotta do what I gotta do. So, but I'm helping the community. You know, at the end of the day, for me, that's all it's about. And so it's like I said, like it's actually very simple. When you self-employed and have a business, you can get whatever you want. Within these parameters. Do you put it on your taxes and what your bank statement looks like? And do you have a business bank statement? That's it. That's it. If you structured it correctly, you're already going to have 2 of those things. Now, you know, most of us do, man. Well, my job, though, it's a W-2 and I got kids, man. I ain't trying to put the business on there. Okay, again, what do you want? Right. Tell me what you want. Oh, man, I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to expand. I'm trying to get a build. I'm trying to, yeah, but you put on your taxes, you made a loss from the business because you made too much at your job. And you remember I was talking about that back there, Shell. So it's like like that's how it works. And for us as a people, it's hard for that sacrifice because we love that refund. We love it. Especially if we got kids, we love that refund. But I'm gonna ask you, do you love this refund more than you love your business success? So normally I see, and there's nothing against women, normally I see the hood chick. She got 3 kids, 4 kids, she's been doing hair since she was 7. She make good money. You know, she in the hood she's doing her thing. No ploy to you, I know you're doing her, but no, like she's doing her thing, and the conversation is so sincere for me, because I don't care about what I'm charging you. Like, I see you, and nobody, I can only speak for me, bro, like nobody enjoys living in the hood, at least that's how I've learned it. But you deal with your situation however, right? And so I'm like, all right, you can get this 12 piece because of what you earned with these 3 kids. And I know you want to move out this hood and you want to buy a house. But the first thing I'm gonna help you do before you buy this house, understand, or you can start, you gotta put this way on your tax. So, I mean, is that yes, you're gonna get less money. I'm gonna tell you straight to your face, because I'm doing the tax, you're gonna get less money. You will get less money. Now, I want you to think of that and that 2-story house, and you tell me which one's more important. Can you make it through the year? You've been feeding them ramen all year anyway. Go ahead when you get this 6K, just stay cheap. And no, I'm being real though. Like, we gotta do what we do as a people. We don't act like we all done been there. So it's a sincere conversation, because it's like, and I literally say this type of stuff. And none of those type of females are in here. But this is what I say. Like, I want to see little Marcus, JoJo, and Go-Go. I want to see them in a house, the house you own, and then I'm gonna show you how not to be house poor when you buy it. But if you love this 12K that much, because every year you're gonna come see me for that, around that same amount of money, because you make around that same amount, you know, I've done me a little bit. You make around that same amount of money, you know you're gonna get it. You got to it. I'm just encouraging, like, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to tell her, but I am giving her the facts. How bad you want? I hold the key to you buying a house. I do the credit, I do the tax, like, you don't have to go nowhere else. I know what I'm talking about. And for about 80% of them, they make the other decision. You know, you know how it is. Okay? So, you know, what's most important? What's most important, man? Those kids need a house. You need that house. We know who we are as a people. It's a generational thing. Don't go house poor doing it. I'm always going to throw that out there, but I'm also going to try to help the person understand, like, it's a simple thing. Like, you can get 12, you can get a little 6 or less. If you do this 2 times in a row, 2 years, you can have that house. Anybody in here bought a house? Okay. All right. Okay. Lucky. So that's what's up. So we understand. At that time, y'all bought. I don't know who was self-employed or not, but me buying a house, being strictly self-employed, I know exactly what's happening here. We need last 2 tax returns. And you see your bank statement.
They sent me through the ringer.
That's it. Well, and I'm gonna speak on the underwriter. You talking about the underwriter? Yeah. So them the ones that definitely don't look like you, and they waiting for you to get that. They like the judge. But I can only speak before I go to the next slide. My process of buying a home was so simple. Yes, I do the credit and know the money part, but it was simple because I was prepared. I didn't just sit down as a black man and think, damn, I'm gonna buy a house. I ain't never had nobody in my house buy a house. So it was, I got the business bank account. Okay, cool, boom, money's coming in. All right, they asked for the last few months. Okay, I got that. My tax returns are, it's just so vital when you're buying a house as a self-employed person in taxes. It's gonna make or break you. I'm talking about where the money is on the line and everything. I can prepare it the right way, but a different way than they're used to, they won't like it. And if you get to the underwriter and they don't like it, it's a wrap. You ain't buying a house. I don't care about what the lender told you, once that old, normally they old, underwriter get that, it's a wrap. 6 vital steps to structuring the business, or what I would call vital. It is imperative that you choose. Imperative means very important. Very important. It is imperative that you choose the right business structure. What does this mean? You must register with your state, your business, whether it be LLC, you can be single or multi. You're single if you're by yourself. You're multi, even if it's you and a lesser partner or another individual you put on the application. That makes you multi. LLP being a limited liability partnership, maybe y'all 50-50 down the line, or y'all established already how y'all gonna operate prior to forming. And then you got GP, which is general partnership. You got NP, which is nonprofit. I'm not asking me with nonprofit. I only help with a couple of those, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't like helping with those at all. It's too much paperwork. But GP, LLP, LLC, I'm very familiar with it. Man. Obtain your EIN. Man, I done had people tell me they paid for it. I try not to laugh. I had people tell me they paid for it, but I know when I say paid for it, they went to so for instance, me, if somebody comes to me and they want to start an LLC in the state of Tennessee, I say $575. I'm a transparent person. $300 go to the state, $275 pay for the labor. You can go to BizBoom and pay $1,200. And $1,000 of that is for legal help. Legal help. You understand what I'm saying? Now, also what I'm doing that a website, just a little kid from Clarksville, also what I'm doing that another website ain't doing that might be cheaper than me is the part you've already sat here the last hour and a half and heard about, which is the business credit. Yeah, you can go through the state, like, you know, in our community, we treat it like paying for services you can do yourself is the gimmick. Like, yeah, I know how to milk a cow, but guess what, I'm still gonna go to Walmart because it takes longer to milk the cow. So people in our community don't understand convenience. It ain't about, oh, you can do it yourself. Dealing with credit is we all, some of y'all from Clarksville, I'm the only one that's still been doing it. Anybody that used to do it ain't doing it no more. Because it's stressful, it's a lot, but I'm weird like that. I love it. And that's why I answer all y'all calls, texts, I don't care. Because I've always been a brainiac, but I love it. And so it's like, when somebody goes to do something, they're like, well, you can da-da-da. If it's just, I just want a business on paper. Okay, cool, then you just go do it yourself. That's not what I'm offering, but if you can go do that yourself, then go start LLC then. You know, nothing wrong, I'll show you how to do it. What I'm doing with what I'm saying this cost is, I'm on your hip now. All right, so we need to get the credit started for this business. Oh, man, I ain't even know nothing about it. Okay, cool, but I'm here, I'm in your face now. So what you want to do with it? Because the dream, most black business owners, and I've seen this from 80s, 90s now, talk to them. The goal they had, they could have got to in 2 to 5 years. That's the local mom and pop, anybody through here. And I'm not nagging any businesses here, like you just, for the ones from here, y'all, Kizzy Barbershop been right there. Hell, I'm 34, ain't been there about 70 years. You can't tell me you didn't think at one point, just because you changed the seats, you wasn't trying to increase the business, like how it looked. We all got that same, like, don't fool yourself because you think your expectation is enough. Because the minute you become popular, it's not. It's not. So I was in a little cubicle doing credit tax, boom, now I got my own, you gotta understand it's evolution. So that person's goal, and it's not to belittle what they want, it's just, do you want the most or not? And I tell my homeboys or people I talk to, here's my analogy. If I go to rob the bank, I've never robbed a bank, but if I go to rob the bank, there's 2 people with me. They say, go in there and get the hundreds. That's their mentality. Let's go in here and get that's the biggest bill. Now, you know, I'm a question guy. So my question is, what if it's $100 bill in there though? What if it's one? 1,050s. You see how a mentality can change everything if you prepare. I say, let's go in here and get everything that's green. Or blue, because it's in the bank. It's blue, or it's blue in the bank. But blue or green, let's go in here and get everything, let's touch everything that's paper. And so that's like how I give it to a person, because when you got a business, think of the reports, the credit, all that stuff first if you can. Yeah, do the business and grow and all that, but what I'm saying is that your 10-year vision could be a 5-year vision. You get to booming, that 5-year don't went to a 2-year. Most places that want to, and I'm going to talk about that too, most places that want to lend to you only want to see you in business for 2 years. Y'all know that. If you sell all the stuff, y'all know if y'all don't went to try to get some, they ask for 2 years or something. I don't care what it is. Bank statement normally months, but tax return, they're going to ask for something. And they can pull from the county if you're in good standing. So they know, they can find out when you've done something. They can't see what the type is. And I made that joke earlier, but what y'all don't know is I got a construction company. And now when y'all here see me pick up no hammer, I'm not lying, I got a construction company. I'm being like honest. I have a construction company. I started in November. And, you know, it's a residential construction company. If you're following what I'm saying and you've been hearing me, then you know the reason I started that. I just told you. So it's like, I got a construction company I started in November 2021. So by November 2023, right? And I want you to hear what I'm saying. And if I wasn't in Clarksville, I'd say this confidently. I started it in November 2021. By November 2023, what y'all see Bill Mason and them doing, I'll be doing. That's simple. Small sacrifice. Oh yeah, I'll put on tax return, I made $1 million. Construction company made $1 million. Oh, the IRS, yeah, they about to get payments. This is what they do. One way. I'm gonna talk about another way in a minute. I'm gonna say that one more time. I started the company in November 21, construction. I'm not picking up no hammer, no nails. I'm not out there with them. But in 2 years, I'll get whatever I want. It's already registered as a residential construction company. So when I find a piece of land, this is what I want to do, and obviously I'll be able, but if I choose to, it's that simple. My credit's good. I got 2 years of work on my business credit for the business, put it on my tax return. That equation's done. That equation's done. As long as I got a business bank account, even if it's not payments coming for that business, I'll funnel it through. They ain't gonna know the difference. They just see the money come in. This is, I mean, the people in front of us, this is, y'all, trust me, I'm in the room with these people. This is, you know, like I said, I might start one later on doing skin and nails, stuff like that. You know, I might do it and set up what I'm saying and tell you, come have this, pay me this. And that's always been on my mind because some people can take the information but don't, it's too much. You know what I mean? Some people look at information like it's not valuable and then it's too much. But I'm explaining it simply like that because it actually is very simple. You start it, build the credit up for it, get what you want. Because guess what? When you step back, you do the same thing for your personal credit. It's no different. You build your personal credit up to buy a house, to get a car, it's the same thing. Same thing. EIN, 9-digit number assigned to your company, which would be used for such things as filing company tax returns, I mentioned. Open a business bank account, I mentioned. Applying for licenses and permits and applying for business credit. I got a license just because in my office I wanted to have a picture frame up there, but I didn't need the license. And most, man, I love our people, man. Like people used to come to me when I was doing LLC, when I first started. Man, I got my LLC already, man. I'm trying to build my credit. All right, frame me your articles of organization, you know, EIN. They look at me. Yeah, your articles of organization, you know, it's 2 pages, man. It's gonna have your name, address, all that on there. It's gonna be stamped by the state trade hard and all that. Damn. Man, I got this piece of paper. I think it's my LLC. Oh, shit, here we go. Bro, you went down there and paid $20 for a license. That's a license. The taxes you're paying is business tax. Because we as the people hear the word business, we think we got one. No, you have a license. And they ask you what class you were going to be in based off the income you plan to earn. You class 3. Okay, yeah, you got a license, my brother. You don't have an LLC. Every LLC comes, I don't care what state, it comes with an articles of organization. That's what it's called. One state may be 1 page, one may be 2, one may have a cover letter, it may look pretty, one may look ugly. That's needed. That's needed. So there's, you know, I just love dealing with my people because it's like, man, I've seen that so many times in my life. I got an LLC. And then it's, oh, I think I got one. Like, oh my God. Like, and you went and got that license and you were confused. Go ahead, Chef.
Can you not register multiple businesses under one LLC?
Well, a LLC is a business, but when you ask like if you, like, let's say this, I think you're asking about like, can you do what's called a holding or an umbrella? So me, kind of like me, like I do this, and this. If I know that's what I'm doing, I form it as and I'm glad you asked that, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it now. It's called a holding company. All right, now I'm paying attention to the trick. You pay attention to the trick, they code, people in front of us, they code. Amazon, that's what that is, what you're asking. Amazon isn't just Amazon. When you get I'm not talking about the actual when you buy something, I'm talking about when you dig and do research, because you know, any business that's actually registered, you can pull up my business credit. I can stop this presentation and show you my business credit, not from the business credit app. You can pull it up. Look at my name, who the owner is, all that, right? It's public information. So if you dig deep enough, anytime you see a company that has holding or holdings at the end, that's what that is. So y'all remember Sears? Sears, you know, all our mamas love Sears, all that. So Sears used to be called, back in the day, way back, I don't know, you've been here at Clark for a long time now? I ain't saying you old, I'm just saying, I know my mama older than you, but I ain't saying you old. But I know that, but Sears used to be called, if you remember, Sears and Roebuck. Sears and Roebuck, so you know what I'm talking about. So it was Sears and Roebuck. At one time when you were fixing credit, if you're fixing credit back in the day, and it didn't have both names, you can get it removed off your credit just on that. That was an ownership thing, and then understanding what a holding company is. It was a holding company then. So a holding company is an LLC, and you don't form it any different. The construction company, that's a holding company. Hey, I mean, it's a holding company. I started it under the umbrella of a construction company, but the income First Take makes on my taxes gets passed through to that business. It buys the business and all the assets. What I'm explaining to y'all is how white folks get ahead making millions of dollars. This is what they do. This is what they do. So they'll create a company that buys their company and all the shares. You have to send a letter to the IRS and do this. I'm going off top of them, I'm going to give you the game. You send a letter in. That's kind of similar to the S Corp and C Corp. You send a letter in to them saying, I bought this business and I bought all the shares. So I made $1 million, but I didn't make $1 million. You understand what I'm saying? So the money that I made goes to the people that are in the holding company. That's what all the rich and wealthy people do. If somebody was in here, because I'm not rich or wealthy, if somebody was in here, they'd be mad I'm talking about it.
Absolutely.
Because they know, I mean, not just because I'm saying it, because they know, like, I like being a part of that percentage that knows the trick. So if you do several different things and you know that's what you're going to do, I would tell you to form a holding company. If not, the name you name that company or whatever industry you pick when you're doing an LLC, that's what you got to run it as. That's what you got to run it as. So, like I said, the construction company is a holding company. I picked construction, why? Because that's the #1 industry when it comes to getting money.
Absolutely.
I knew what I was doing, you know, but I'm not picking up no hammer. And so it was just, I know that in 2 years I can say, hey, I got a project, man, I need $2 million for this apartment complex project. As long as they can see a couple $100,000 in that time frame, either going through accounts or on the tax return, they're gonna give it to me. If I need $1 million, I don't need to make $1 million. I don't need to make 500,000. I could probably get by with 100,000 if my debt right. And in our community, we think you got to make what you ask for. No. When your credit's good, they already got a leg up. And if your debt is small, you ain't got nothing but an auto loan, you make 200 grand a year, they'll give you $1 million. Talk to the right person, you're gonna get it even easier. So that's how simple it is. Like, I'm gonna start this, build the credit up, make sure I got my stuff structured right, do the bank account, get all the, get money going through there, make sure it's on my tax. That's it. You sit back. If you can't give up 2 years, for some people that had a business 20, 30, still don't know what I'm talking about. So imagine, so the people that do, this is why y'all walk out here and see what's happening. You see all the construction that's happening, some of that is them knowing what I'm talking about. Some of it, for those builders here, they had it, they built it up. But I could grab a mace or a bird, and they won't know nothing about this particular part. But because they already got it, oh, I ain't worried about it. But if they slow down, damn, let me, hold on now, I can save money, hold on. But when you got it like that, you don't care, because it's coming back. I build homes, I ain't worried about just using cash, because it's gonna come back when they buy it. Okay, but what if you didn't have to use the cash to have it built? And then a lot of them are in an intelligent space enough to just take the information and sit there with it and get it, because they on the go, you know what I mean? But an umbrella company is kind of like, I'm assuming what you're asking, and that's what like I said, it's funny you said that, because I just forgot it was a holding company, because like I said, I didn't do the construction, but that's what that was. And that's what it's gonna continue to be, and that's how I do my tax, and I would do the same for the next person that's making whatever type of money and has that same idea or plan. This is what you need to do. Outside of saying, well, I want to do that, and I'll get into how to do it, but it's like, all of that still reverts back to tax returns. You can make all the money in the world and you say you make it, but when you sit down with somebody, that's the only way to verify the money you make is the bank statements and the tax returns. One of them can be finessed easily, I do that, I already told you. But the tax returns, I mean, it is what it is. But the tax returns, that can happen too, but when they pull out that 4506T, you lost that one, because now they're pulling the transcripts from the IRS directly. So, and you get that EIN from IRS.gov. Like I said, if you go through BizBoom, HisGirl, MyGirl.com, wherever you go to get your LLC and all that, of course they're going to be upcharging you for the security. They make you feel like you got a da-da-da-da, but you don't. But if you collecting raccoons, like you don't need all that. Not right now, out the gate. And you may build your own fence. Oh, excuse me. Open a business bank account. I have a plug here. Everybody helps set up an LLC. I sent them to my guy, James Satterfield, at Ultra Federal Credit Union on Wilma Rudolph. That's my guy. I love connections. Anybody that knows me know I'm a networker. I always do right by people, so they look to do right by me most times. And I can set somebody up today, Monday, he's gonna take care of it. He already know that if you take articles, EIN, SS4, they don't need to operate an agreement, single member LLC. He said, man, I like you, man, you know your stuff. I said, I done did it enough times. So I send them right to him if they're a single member. If they're a multi, I say, hey, take this operating agreement. If y'all in the state of Tennessee, because y'all here with me, okay, bet, you and the person that's on the operating agreement, y'all go over there, sit down with James, take the EIN document, take these articles of organization, he's gonna tell you how much you wanna put in there. Everybody I've ever helped, if they didn't have an opposition to Ultra, they went there, and that's what happened. So it's just that's me, I'm this. Let's get it. Because you don't know when your last day will be, and then, like I said, the people in front of us, they running, they're not jogging. Once you have your federal tax ID, you'll want to open a business bank account for your company. That's in reference to already having the articles, which was the first step. This is a mandatory step in creating a clear separation between your business and personal expenses. Also, keep in mind, any business form with more than one member, which is what I was talking about, the bank will most likely require an operating agreement. This details the structure of the account, ownership percentages, and who has overall authoritative control. I can't even read my own damn words. Believe it or not, I ain't copy and paste, y'all. I'm literally like that. I typed all this up. I don't copy and paste, let me get it. You know what I'm saying? That's important because if you got more than one member, you're gonna need to operate an agreement. Operating agreement just talks about who I am, who he is, this my percent, this his percent. He can't open up an account without my authorization, and he's black, I'm black, okay, cool. That's all it is. The bank takes it, makes a copy and leaves it alone. If you're a single member, it's not needed. If you don't know your stuff, I do cold stuff, man. I get up one day, so let me see who know their stuff. Literally, I'll just get up one day, I go to US Bank, let me see what they know. I ain't gonna US, I got US. Let me go to First Tennessee, see what they know. I got an LLC, want to open up this bank. Can I get y'all an agreement? Ma'am, I don't need that. It's not required to stay in Tennessee. I'm a single member. Okay, let me get my manager. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, huh? Yeah. So it's just, that's how it, like I said, I reference the state. The laws for the state are the laws for the state, dog. I ain't got nothing for you. But see how quick she said something, and I'm not going to say it was black or white thing. It could have been. But she said what she said thinking, now, hold on now, you're talking to me. I don't need no operating. Who am I operating? First of all, an agreement is an agreement amongst two people or two businesses. Why the hell would I need one if it's just me? I'm not in agreement with y'all. You're asking me for this for my business. Oh, man. And so she learned something that day. So it was cool. Because you never know. Most of us, we walk into places assuming the person knows. It's not about you trying to one-up them. It's just, you don't know either sometimes. So you just walk in there, you trusted them. If I didn't know, I would have trusted her. I need an operating agreement, damn. But it don't matter to me. I help you start a business. I'm gonna take my operating agreement, erase my name and my business name, put your name, and you go right back. Because it's yours. They're not gonna say, no, we don't honor that. It's yours, whatever you make it. And it's not necessary if it's just me, because why would I get in an argument with me about what I'm doing? So if you're a multi-member, it may happen. Me and him got into it. He tried to go wipe the account out. No, he ain't supposed to. The dumb teller or rep let him do it. Now I'm on her head, and I'm on his head. That's how you stop that, or mitigate it, because most times you can't stop it. Establish credit with vendors and creditors who report to either of the business credit bureaus. If you got a business, you got what's called the EIN, Arms Organization. You should have a DUNS number, right? I don't do the whole this the business social, not the business social thing. I just call it what it is so you can learn on your own, right? So when you're starting a business, you know you get your articles, EIN, register with the state, go down here to the, actually right in this corner, you go to the deeds office, make sure you pay a little $20. That's just for them to say, man, you have to do something wrong with us, we won't come take your business. That's all it is. There ain't no purpose behind it, and they'll tell you at the window when you go around this corner. If you put it at the deeds and you pay for the deed office, for them to know, that's how them folks in front of us can say, man, anytime you think you're too good, we're gonna come see you. So that's how that's what it, now you tell you at the office, that's what they're gonna tell you. I said, man, what's the purpose of this? You know, I always dress up just so I can make them feel better. You know what I'm saying? What's the purpose of this? Oh, there's no purpose, just for us to have records. Okay, so that let me know anytime I fuck up, y'all gonna come see me. All right, bet. So you do that, but you want to be in record, because when you're dealing with someone, they may pull your county stuff and want to see what you got going on, who you owe. It's important to know your stuff so you can be everywhere, right? But on the business credit tip, the DUNS number is very important, right? In most cases, when you're building credit for the business, you're doing, and I'm gonna get to the, I don't want to it's on the next slide, but the DUNS number is important. You go to dnb.com, get your DUNS number. It's a credit reporting number that houses what's called a paydex score. I'm gonna talk about that stuff. The paydex score, and it's important. And I'll probably exit out of this slide at some point and show you my business credit scores or a report so you can see how it looks for those who are familiar or not familiar. One of the easiest ways to build business credit is to apply for net terms with vendors and suppliers. What does this mean? She does skin and nails, right? You do skin and nails. Hair. Damn, man, listen, my bad now. My bad. All right, so she do hair and nails. She need 1,000 clip-ons for whatever reason. And these 1,000 clip-ons cost 10,000. She ain't got it at the time, but they say we got net terms or net 30 terms. All right, bet I can do that because I know next week I'm getting the bag. So it costs what it costs, and she has 30 days to pay it off. That's a net 30. Once she does that, it reports. It may take 45 days, but that's how she establishes business credit. It's actually very simple, and if anybody is confused at any time, you stop or ask a question, but it's actually very, very simple. With a business, you start the credit just like you do personally. Go ahead.
Do they offer any more net 30 accounts?
Yeah,
besides the ones
well,
on
I got a slide, but I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. 30, 60, 90, some companies don't do nets. They just treat it as a line of credit. It doesn't matter what the name is or the sauce on it. It's just this is the time you have to pay it. I mean, obviously that's a benefit for people if you're making the money within a month's perspective, because if you ain't got it at that moment, then that's how you do it. But the key premise is to build the credit that way. Some people forget because they got the money. I'm good, I'm gonna just do, no, you're not understanding what's happening here. You got it, always have something to fall back on. Do the net. Because if you know you got it and you could pay it, why not just hold on to it for that 30 days and the extra bread you make just cover what you're going to pay anyway? That's how you do it. It's very simple. This activity creates your company's credit profile and business credit report. After your company has several trade lines reporting, a business credit rating score is generated. I'm going to have a breakdown of what the scores are, what the bureaus are. I might exit out and show you a report or NAV, right? That's the business credit reporting app. Monitor your business credit reports. There are 3 major business credit reporting agencies, so it's important to monitor each of your company credit files. Each agency collects data from various sources and may have different information about your company. This is important even on the personal side. Some people don't even know on their credit report there's an address there from 30 years ago. Some of them don't know that Tiffany is Tiffany. Some of them don't know the last name was the maiden name and she's been married 20 years. These are important things even for a person that repairs like me, because I'm taking that stuff off to help in the repair process, because repairing ain't nothing but chess. That's probably why I'm good at it, because it's just back and forth. And if I'm able to say something that I know you can't say or don't have, that's how I win. So it's the same thing with a business. You want to make sure your business information, just because you started and did some stuff, human error is inevitable. You do something on a computer, but there's going to be somewhere down the line a human has to verify something. Computers just help us process information faster. Somebody still got to verify it. So it's important to know when you're building business credit, all your business information is correct. Correct. The name, the address, the phone number. I hear people talk about different numbers, and I got it even in some of my steps, but I'm learning, like, if you establish a report, that's all that matters. This is people that have one number for everything. A different number isn't so much it'll merge thing, it's a public record thing. So people know how to access, how to talk to you directly if you got more than one phone. That's all it is. The reports are going to be built themselves based off you forming the business and getting the EIN. Because the EIN, as I said before, is how you detail to the IRS your taxes. So that's, it's just step by step. Last, but certainly not least, go to the Dunn and Bradstreet website and obtain your DUNS number. A DUNS number is a 9-digit number for a physical location of a business utilized for record keeping and reporting for vendors and creditors. I'm going to tell you something else great that I do. When someone come to me, 575, everything I just showed you, I do it all for them. No other company in the world, no other person you know around the city does that. Not at that price anyway. So, but I like it because I do it all at once. If I help you start your LLC, it just makes more sense on a personal level. I'm gonna get the EIN for you. I'm gonna apply for the DUNS for you. Come holler back at me when you get that DUNS number, and I'll tell you the price for me to help you build your credit. When I say help, I'm gonna do it for you. But how I'm talking to y'all today, you on the phone with me like that. Any service I provide, I never leave you out there. I'm always gonna be talking to anybody that's ever dealt with me. Know that. I'm on your ass. I'm always be talking to you. I'm gonna always be talking to you. I don't go ghost. So that's the important piece of education too. If I just give you something, I don't know how you understand, how you interpret, or what's important. I make sure everything is, because I'm saying it to you. So if somebody come to me, I say, all right, bet. And they'll let me hear them actually want to tune in to business credit. All you have to type in. And then I got another resource y'all see me skipping through that I'm gonna show that nobody in this region or this state does. And I just have the luxury of knowing somebody really, really, I'll say big, I'm gonna say he's rich, but really, really big in California. Yeah, trust me. The DUNS number, expediting the vetting process for partnerships with other business entities and financial institutions. Basically means speeding up how we report the information you're giving us. Providing a unique business identifier for your company, which enables potential partners, including federal government agencies and lenders, to learn essential financial information about your company. You wanna know what's funny about that? Anybody know what the SAM.gov thing is about, like federal contracts and stuff? Y'all hear people talking about it, normally the people in front of us. But y'all ever hear people talking about it? Okay, yeah, so it's, all that is like, okay, y'all remember my holding company that, I build houses with. So, I'm indexed, I got business credit. I want y'all to write and keep this in your head. As a minority, for all of us in here, as a minority, that particular website, institution, or organization has to, I think it's by law too, have to allocate a contract to you just because you're a minority. So what I'm saying is if you get a business structured right, doing your thing, got it going good, you can go straight through the federal government, and whichever, or local government, whichever county, state, whatever you're in, and see what type of contract they can have for you. This is called steady income. Ain't nothing worse than starting a business and you don't know who your clientele is. Now, if you're doing that just to build credit, I'm with you, because that's what we own. And you can get money to leverage and then blow up. this is the philosophical way to do it. But sam.gov, if I'm wrong, excuse me, but it's just dealing with contracts through the government. As a minority, you have that right. They would give you at least one. But as it pertains to what you do, let's be clear. As it pertains, now if you do, I don't want to say, I don't know, you make socks, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it has to be pertaining, probably physical labor is best. Construction, electricity, plumbing, cleaning. Beautiful thing. Most people don't know about it. Widening your opportunities as the DUNS number may be required to bid for, look at that. See, sometimes I put it in here and then my brain moved that way. Bid for government contracts. Companies with DUNS numbers can submit bids for certain projects that those without a DUNS number cannot. That's just what I just said. That's what I just said. That number alone allows you to move like this. So now we thinking, I'm getting tight on business. You had your mind right. They do the work for you. There's a contract right here. You gotta do your job. This is how the people around us that we see, that we think they worked hard, whatever, they knew the tricks. I know they put them all together. Put it all together. Potentially making your business more attractive for partnerships, since a DUNS number makes it easier for companies to access your credibility and financial risk. You do that with any business that has a DUNS number. I go right on the DMV website. All right, Jasmine, you done missed 12 payments with that creditor. No, I ain't dealing with you. That's how it happens. That's how people are. This is also the soft pull on the personal side. That's how you get those pre-approvals in the mail. And most of us don't know the CEO and CFO of this bank, his brother worked at that bank, his sister worked at that bank. You're like, come on, man, y'all know how they work. Ain't no coincidence. Most of us, or I'm gonna speak for me, and I bet I'm right. Anybody that has struggling credit, you either got pre-approvals on the cards offers from Capital One, Credit One, First Premier, and what's the one that starts with M?
Mary.
Oh, look at that. Somebody been through it, huh? Been through it. I'm already knowing. Mary Bank. Just ask yourself, how is that connection like that for everybody? You can say, well, all of us had that. Like, let's go deeper. What's that connection there? Something going, come on now. Because two of those same cards that are major banks now, like Credit One's coming up, Capital One obviously is. That's just how it works. That's how it works. Like, boom, hook you up over there, we got you on this side. So from a DMB perspective, you can pull my DMB right now today. I've never missed payment, and so they like that. I need a line of credit. All right, check this. Everybody I've dealt with, on time, boom, boom, boom. Okay, yeah, you good. Personal look good too. That was just more of a putting the shoes on. Now we done laced them up. So that's why I don't do the whole freeze and do this. I don't get into that jazz. Anybody's ever dealt with me, I don't even talk like that. Freeze this, and then they can, bro, I don't want to play on one side of the street. There's some girls over there, man, I'm not gonna get with them. We want both sides of the street. We want both sides of the street. And for my people, I want us to understand that. Don't try to wiggle if that's all you got. I'm gonna wiggle with you. But if I know you can get right and I can help you get right, let's come to the table with our shirt and our pants on. We can't show up with just drawers. We gotta come fully dressed. Fully dressed. And so the person that's looking at me says, okay, you know something. That's what this world is really moving toward. What do you know? And after that is who you know. But if you don't know nothing, you might get in the door knowing somebody. Maybe. If they ain't done nothing wrong. So these are, I mean, y'all don't understand how important that is, especially for the self-employed and business owner people. Boom. I said 3 because one of these, obviously I talked about it, don't necessarily count because it's not an actual whatever. Dun & Bradstreet, that's the paydex. Some of these y'all probably ain't never heard of, and that's okay because you heard it today. 0 to 100. Most cases you won't see, they'll say, most people say it, I'll just say it just so y'all can hear it for banter. You won't get past 85 with the paydex. I've had a 90 and then it dropped back down. The only reason they say that is because it fluctuates. It fluctuates based off who you deal with because they all don't report to the same thing. You might get a Capital One card on your personal and it reports to all 3. You might get a Capital One credit card that only reports to Experian. Some people don't understand. They don't always report to the same thing. That's a regional thing. That's the answer. If you ask me why, it's regional. It's regional. So like if I'm in Clarksville, this particular sector of whatever they got in that card I got, they do what they do on that end. In memory, I can tell you Capital One, most lines are all 3, but it depends on what type of card you get. And I have to know that because I run a trade line company. So I have to remember it's become like going to bed at night. IntelliScore Plus from Experian, that's 0 to 100. FICO Liquid Credit Small Business Score Service, 0 to 300. And the Equifax Business Delinquency Risk Score is 224 to 580. In my personal experience, that's the hardest one. I can't stand it. Like, getting it up because it's like, it's only so much research you can do business-wise to see who reports to what unless they tell you. And not everybody markets that. Like you got to call some banks on your personal side, like, who y'all report to? You know what I'm saying? They're not going to market it. Oh yeah, we report to, and they'll say, we report to the major credit bureaus, and you assume that's all three. That's not always the case. They're just saying we do report to them. Doesn't mean they report to all three. So it's it's wordplay, so it's very important. Now, obviously, I would encourage someone to always go with who reports to all three, because people will say, man, Jay, how come my scores are different? That's easy to answer. You ain't got the same history on all of them. Or, because you came to me as a person that helps fix it, there's inaccuracies on one, or two, hell, all three. So that's simple to answer. So it's important to know, because you want to, it's not like keeping it even is a like a caveat to anything. It just makes it easier to understand when something's wrong. All right, well, one of them, hold on now, ain't nothing happening. And if one's slower than the other, I'm just going to wait. But I've been waiting and I ain't seen nothing happen. So that means somebody on this side made a mistake or something going on. Let me get on the phone and go holler at somebody that can help me. That's why that's important. How to monitor it, nav.com, right? If you're a business owner, self-employed person with an LLC, you need to be familiar with Nav. Nav is my second best friend. I check it every day, most times or often. It notifies you, probably it's more annoying than Experian. Lets you know, it's great though. It's just like Credit Karma. Some of us look at that right side of Credit Karma when it tells us what to suggest what to apply for. Some of us get to sweating and we, like, yeah, I'm gonna try it. You know what I'm saying? So NAV does that same thing, but it's actually even more credible because remember, this is a separate entity. So these people are really wanting to get down with you if you formed the business correctly. It does offer a plan. I think it's about $129 every 3 months. You pay it, and that payment reports to your business credit reports. I did it, jumped on it, boom, built the credit up, boom. And of course, y'all know I'm out here building homes now and stuff, so that's what I did for that construction. That's what I did. I just started it. You can start your business credit the moment that DUNS number come back. That DUNS number can come back. Now, I'm gonna tell you how they finesse you. I want you to pay attention. If you go to DUNS website and you try to apply for a DUNS, it'll tell you to get it instantly is $250, right? It'll tell you in 30 days it's free. Every time I've done a free one for everybody, because I told you if somebody pays me $575, that's included. So anybody I've ever helped, it always comes within 2 weeks. So if you can't wait 2 weeks, go ahead and pay that $250. But it's gonna be on top of that $575, I told you, just to be clear. But, because I'm not paying out of my pocket. But, and it's all fast, that's just me. I don't rush, it's just, I understand that the sense of urgency with not only my people, but what we're trying to do. So as soon as your DUNS number come back, you get started. So boom, you come to me to start an LLC. I helped you start yours, didn't I? Did I?
Yeah, I'm sitting here.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm tripping. Yeah, so like I said, I don't tell everybody's business, but just as an example, like I get rolling. Once that's started, let me know when the DUNS ready. Or when it come back to your email.
You set up my whole
Yeah, like I do the whole thing. Like I set your email up. I public records your business. I do everything. And I slap myself for being so cheap sometimes, but at the end of the day, it's more for the people. So as soon as that DUNS come back, it came back, oh, let's roll. 2 weeks later. And I'm gonna have in here, and then I'm gonna talk about what you need to do. We're gonna build. Or either you give me the access to your business bank account, and I'm gonna do it for you while you're still doing hair, nails, skin, trash cans, whatever you do. And then we just roll it.
It just hit 2 years for me too.
Huh?
It just hit 2 years LLC.
Yeah. So we're about to get ugly out here. Yeah. So it's and that's the thing. The 2 year thing is so important because that's what most lenders are on. Just I don't know what it is about 2 years outside of them thinking I can take an average or something. Like, bro, you don't realize a business could be terrible for 2 years and do great for 10. A business could be great for 10 and do terrible for 8. But I ain't here to talk about it. Y'all need to, and if Jatavious can do a dummy part of anything, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Little bank statement, little tax return number, a little bit of straightening. That next link, that's my link. I actually have a partnership with IQ. You want to take down that link because it allows. Now, I'm a computer dude, but I love simple interface. Meaning, I could get on one thing and look at everything. I can't stand Experian because I got to click and scroll. I love Identity IQ. If you've ever dealt with me, I made you get it because I can get right in there and scroll and look. Right? So that second link, which is actually mine, that I'm gonna motivate you to go get because I get paid off of. So that link allows you to see all of your business credit in one scroll. It's on one thing, you just scroll down. All right, so you need to screenshot, like I said, man, go ahead and show some love on your link. But that's like how, like the Experian. Nav don't look like Experian, looks more, it's credit looking, but it's totally different. How to start establishing your business credit. Do as many net 30s as possible, then apply for, you was asking about that, then apply for net 60s and net 90s. 30, 60, 90, you can think of it like a late payment thing, type of thing. Net 30 accounts are accounts that extend you 30 days to pay the bill in full after you purchase the product. That's the example I used with her and the clip-ons, right? So you got 30 days. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is how I knew I was the GOAT at repairing credit. I'm gonna tell you right now, you better not be 31 days late. I'm talking about midnight hit. You better not be 31 days late. They hitting that report so quick. And it's not like personal. Understand what I'm saying? You know on the personal side, when you're 30 days late, it's another 30 before they report it late. Business ain't playing with you like that. 31, they on your head. They on your head. I experienced it. There was something going on. I had a bunch of business gas cards. I kept not keeping up. I was keeping up with stuff, but the app was not working, and they told me to call back. I got a business, man. I'll call y'all when I get time. I'm thinking they gonna mess with me. Hit me up again or something. Boom. I look at my business credit drop. Oh, I'm sick. You know, I shut business down the whole day. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I got mad. So I'm like, damn, man, hold on, brother. No, this don't happen to me. I feel like Denzel, you gonna do this to me? So I'm looking, and on business credit, it's not like personal when you look at your reports. It doesn't have the name. Understand, like, that's why y'all see no one. I might be the only one that's done it for me and for a couple of others. There's no one that repairs business credit. Man, it's just beyond hard. Like, it does not, if I got a Shell gas card, you're not seeing Shell on your reports. You're not gonna see gas, anything probably. You'll see merchant, something. And I'm like, so now I'm looking at my report thinking, who the hell did I miss a payment with? So I just started, this first take is my DBA, so that's my oldest company. And so I'm looking like, damn, man, I worked hard, man, who did I gotta go through each and every one. I'm calling them, they on the phone, they slow, they don't know nothing, they you know, you think they supposed to know, they don't know nothing. So I'm like, man, I got these, let me put these cards, I got these gas cards. It's 3 gas cards. Which one was it? Was it MAPCO? No, they fronted me the bread up front, so it wasn't them, couldn't have been, because I'd already had paid that. It was Shell. All right, bet, I called Shell. They don't know, I gotta call them, they don't know. So I'm like, all right, I'll tell you what. Who y'all report to? Okay, we report to Experian, the business side of Experian. Okay, bet, appreciate it. And you know me, I'm like, all right, bet, I'm gonna go ahead and dispute that then, because, you know, so I'm on the phone with them too. I sent something to them, make sure they got it. Oh, y'all got that right? Okay, cool, I'm on the phone with you now, though. I need that. Hey, that wouldn't be my fault, dog. You know what I'm saying? They ain't, you know, giving my login, all right, we'll process it, that's fine. How many days y'all need? Well, give us about 30. Okay, cool, I'll call back in 29. So I call back, get to talking, they still didn't do it. Then I get the update the next month. There's been a change. All right, bet, got on their ass now. Changed my stuff, my score went back up. Whew, got scared, man, because I'm like, the business stuff is so tough because it doesn't, you're not gonna look at it like you can on your personal C Capital One. You're not gonna, no, it don't work like that. It is not gonna look normal, and you're gonna be like, man, I don't remember because this one's a payable account, this one's a 30, net 30, this one's a line of credit, and then remember, it's 4 of them. So you gotta figure which one. You can't see them all in one time like you can on your personal, where you can see all the bureaus. So that was a nice little homework assignment, but made it through. It ain't something I market I do though, because ain't no way I was gonna do that, keep doing that. Commonly known as a vendor credit, supplier credit, trade credit. Trades, right, boom. So that's the example I have from the Jasmine. Like, so at the end of the day, if I wanted to look up someone's business under their D&B, I know what I want to do with them based off who they've dealt with. So I know you got 8 trades, you messed up with 6 of them, we good on you. The other 2 don't even matter to us. We don't care what you did with the good with the other 2 and what type they were. Now, if you did good with all 8, we'll open the door. I'll say my formula is this. When somebody comes to me, I'm gonna tell you what I do for that price. I help them start it, set it up. I do at least 10 net 30s. So a person literally pays $575, basically $275. And what I talked about with my construction company, they'll be able to do in 2 years. And if they allow me access, we're gonna turn up. I might tell them this much more, because obviously for $275, you're like, man, hold on, bro, ain't no way you're that cheap. But again, I do it for the people, but it's also because I know how to do it. It's not like I did it for me so many times, so it's just boom, here, boom, boom. All right, you got this bank card, right? All right, bet. What's the debit card? Send me front and back up, boom, 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 boom. All right, we can do, because I could do all 10 in one night. It's on them and their balance. You got $1,000 in that account, you do all 10 of them. All right, bet, do that. All right, bet, okay, well, shit, 10 more. That's why I said do as many as possible. All right, we got 20 of them now. You want to do 30? It's on you. I might say, throw me this because I'm doing the labor, but the point is, you ain't got to do it. Because what you're already going to do anyway, that's what you're doing, putting money in the account. You're putting money in the account, and if it's a 30, you know it's boom, it's bouncing back after that 30. Not every net 30 is a net 60. Not every net 30 increases limits. So these are separate. A 30, 60, and 90 can be totally separate. They don't have to be the same person. You can have somebody that only does net 60s, and you apply to them. You might have someone that does net 30, say, you got to spend $40 to activate the line of credit or debt. You spent the 40, paid it off. Hey, you know what? Since you spent that 40, we're going to give you extra $2,000 on your limit. But in order to get that $2,000, you got to spend $100. You know what I'm going to tell you? Spend $100. Boom. Now you got extra $2,000 on your limit. Man, you know what? We like you. You spend $200 this time, we'll give you extra $5,000. You know what I'm telling you to do? Spend the $200. Because it just increases the limit. Now see how this is a cheat code versus the personal where you got to ask or do right. With these people, just do right, and we'll give it to you. That's why that knowledge and discipline comes. That's why I get it like that, because it don't change. It's just you see it different on the side. Literally, this is how it works. You do this, boom, pay it off. Yeah, we'll give you $2,000 more. All right, bet. Now, every last one of them don't do that because it could be retail or whatever type of vendor they are, but a lot of them do. And it's that simple. They just keep giving. And I know with my people, I run into the funniest conversation about you do hair and nails. Ma'am, she ain't sleeping. Hair and nails. Okay, I'm on your ass again. Hair and nails. Now she got to order chemical supplies. People get into a conversation with me about how they don't like, man, look, I don't want to hear that. Like, I try to be professional. I don't want to hear, like, bro, yeah, I got to order some Clorox wipes. If you got kids or you got a house, clean that shit and then keep it moving. Like, people get caught on what they can actually get. Yeah, I'm not going to disregard what you say you need and say I'm going to just order what I want. But if I go to a t-shirt website and you do something that ain't got nothing to do with apparel, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking, because everything you could do self-employment you might fix computers, but you don't care about your attire. So I'm gonna order some shirts they're gonna say go dad on it, go mom, or whatever. I just gotta activate the line. You upset, you know? I mean, you would've what? You'd have paid me to do it if you knew you wanted to be educated on what to do. You did it yourself. I mean, I have no problem not charging you. You know what I'm saying? So people get kind of caught up on that part. The sense of urgency is to just get the line reported. So if you do apparel and you say, well, man, I'm always paying this for whatever, you miss this piece of information, and that changes your life. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of apparel companies that do that. You spend the bread up front, you got 30 days paid. Versus coming out of pocket because of supply and demand. And don't let you get to a point where your credit's great and you got a business credit card. That's how the mentality is supposed to be. I'm not leveraging anything that's cash in my pocket. If it's in my pocket, it's a card and it's plastic. That's what I'll leverage. Because if I'm doing good in apparel and I'm making the money, I not only keep the money I got, now I'm making more and I still can utilize the card. This is what they do. Everything's about leveraging. And it's a good thing to know too if you do the physical part of that, or anybody that needs a particular uniform. In most cases, your personal credit does not matter for approval. If not approved automatically, reevaluate the structure of the business. Now, when I say most cases, that's really applying to the things above net 30s and 60s and 90s. I'm not saying it don't matter that if yours is bad, they won't mess with you. I'm saying if you're separate and you've established some credit, everything is about, let me see what you've done so far. If you made a mistake, let me see how you tried to correct it. Let me see. But people will say, that's why the whole freeze and do that. But what people forget when they talk about that is those bureaus and reports you're talking about freezing, they're attached to you personally. Every business has a business owner. You can't apply for something for the business and act like a human don't exist. Like a business created a business. That's not what happens. Now, you can do the holding thing like, me, where I'm building the houses with the construction company and stuff. But that still is owned by a human. You understand what I'm saying? That's still owned by a human. There's still a person that's an affiliate or some type of authorized person. Business funding. I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm excited, man. I announced it on Facebook. I think I got on live. I know I don't do a whole bunch of public stuff because I don't trust a lot of people. But I got a partnership with this lender called Deliver Capital, right? And they just funded, actually a really good friend of mine. Not a good friend. I don't know him that well, but he's a cool white boy. So he does real estate in Indiana. He's really young too, man. But again, that's why I say that they run it. He one of the ones running. He's like 25. And he done flipped like 15 properties. It's unheard of. Ain't nobody here doing it at that age. Even if you talk about the Sango sector, because those are the ones out there that know about the stuff I'm talking about. But he's like 25, just running. And I'm gonna talk about in a little bit what he's doing, and it's gonna be eye-opening because you could do it and it's very simple as far as getting into real estate. So I want you to pay attention to that. So he, boom, I got him together. What's up, man? What's going on, Devin? Man, what's going on, man? You know, I need 50,000, man. I'm trying to flip a property, man. I'm like, bro, you got money. First of all, what we talking about? You know what I'm saying? I know how you living. I see you. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, I just, I like to leverage. He using all the words I'm talking to y'all about. Okay, he's like, well, know some shit. Woo-wee. But he coming to me. I need my piece on the back end. You know what I'm saying? I know you better off. So he just got funded this week. Got his little 50K plus 10K. So of course I eat off that, but the people that I was dealing with, I just wanted to see how that worked. Now that I know it's working, and I'm giving you information I'm giving you today, let's go ahead and get this money. That's why I said let's get some business money. I didn't say how to. This is going to be a very short segment, plus I see a pizza back there. It's a very short segment because for me is, what are you trying to do? All right, bet I got somebody. If you know me personally, you already know that though. If you know it, if you dealt with it, you already know how I get down. Hey, all right, you go there. All right, I got you, do that. So I don't, in the sake of this seminar as far as information, I'm not looking to lull anyone to sleep. If I know what your goal is, I'm going to get you there. Because what you're trying to do, I probably already did it in a certain way. Like I'll try to get some business, okay, I'll try to get business correct. All right, I've been there, done that, so I know exactly what to do. Statistically speaking, most businesses, damn, I see, look at that, that's OCD, most businesses will not receive the funding they are seeking from banks unless they have been in formation at least 2 years. We know that, and have filed business tax for their business. There's a difference between a business tax return and business taxes. If you got an LLC, you pay who got an LLC in here? I ain't gonna ask you, I know you're too busy. I'm gonna ask Michaela. Let me see. Okay. So what is it that you pay every year that you got an LLC? What is that called?
Just be first years, remember?
Damn,
We
you're
just
right.
said it
Oh
earlier.
man, hold on, man. You know I be
We just
listen.
said it
I get to
earlier.
helping people, and I'm like, I know y'all trust me and love me, so I get rolling. What do you pay every year having an LLC? What is it called?
Me?
You in Kentucky, never mind. So I'll say it because there's only 3 of y'all. So when you have an LLC, yeah, you in Kentucky, I forgot. When you have an LLC, you pay what's called franchise and excise tax. Okay? And then you have what's called an annual report. $300 every year. Every year. Don't ask me how I know. Trust me, they get theirs on every day. They send it to you December 1st. Hey, you're ready to pay this. So franchise and excise, franchise and excise, and then the annual report. Annual report is $300. Franchise and excise is just transposing the information from your federal to your state. So I'm talking about when you pay the state of Tennessee. That's business taxes. And if you got a license, you pay business tax. Your federal business tax return, and that's backwards, should be 1120. I'm sorry, man, it's late night. 1120 is a form for S Corp. That's a business tax form. You got 1065, which goes along with an LLP type of formation, which is a partnership. Look at my boy in the back. Partnership. Partnership, a 1065. I ain't put that in, I'm just talking what I know because I do taxes. A partnership. Then you got what most of us in here probably know, which is a Schedule C. Now, if somebody's reading it that don't know taxes, they see it say right up under the bold letters, it's for sole proprietors. And I have to explain and fight with banks all the time that does not necessarily mean that a person that's an LLC is a sole proprietor. They mix up the word sole proprietor and forget that's not the same as sole member. If you're an LLC single member, you're a sole member. If you do an LLC on your EIN document, it'll say the business name and it'll say sole member. That's not the same as sole proprietor. Sole member just means one. Sole proprietorship just means one person owns everything and everything's attached. That's all it means. That's why the 2-year thing matters. So remember that. If you got an LLC and you didn't know nothing about what I just said, you might want to check it when we get dissolved. If you are a single member LLC, the banks are looking for either a Schedule C, that's supposed to be 1120, or 1120S tax document, or it could be a corporation document. Just depends on how you do it and who you're dealing with and what knowledge they have. I dealt with that. Who was that I helped buy a house? And the dude was arguing. No, you gotta have hey man, I just do taxes, dog. If you did them, let me know how this is really supposed to go, but I've been doing it for a little minute. It is important to understand the documents they are looking for because a dummy return does no justice. See, look, I'll tell you, I put it out there, I mess with my people. But if they ask for that 4506T, I'm out the door because that means they're pulling directly from the IRS. What I'm telling y'all, and comfortably telling y'all, is finessing is cool with me, man. Let's wiggle, man. Let's wiggle. You want to go to the bank, try to get some money? Let's wiggle, man. What you need? Bank statement, I got you. On the low, give me a low. I got you. But if they say anything about a 4506T, hey man, you out there by yourself, dog. If you ain't got it, you need to put it on your tax return the next 2 years and come back and holler at me. Because when they pull it from the IRS, y'all understand what I'm saying? They pull it from the IRS, you know you ain't putting it on there, but we trying to wiggle, and they ain't gonna, now you can't be I don't know how to say this. Don't be the guy I just talked to the other day and say, go around, I'm asking if they ask for it. Come on, bro, you blowing up my spot. How you gonna ask them, do they ask for the 45016? Now you, like, folks know what you, oh, so you wanna know if we pull from the IRS. Well, okay. Then they tell you no, then you get to go and they tell you yeah anyway. That's how slick they are. You done wasted my time, you still gonna pay me for these documents, just to be clear. So, don't blow up the spot. When you wiggle, you ain't supposed to be out there wide open wiggling. You just, excuse me. You know, oh yeah, they need that. Okay, I got you, man. Ain't nothing, you know, I sent that to you tonight, email. Ain't nothing. But just for the people, man, I do that for the people. You know what I'm saying? But I know my cutoff point. Don't get me wrong, there's people out here that don't even care. They ask for that, man, it's cool, bro, you can do. No, you can't, bro. This is a 4506T. They asking the man. The man gonna give them what they said you did. You can't alter that. You can't change that. You can't mess with no transcript. You can't. I already tried it. You can't download and edit it. Already tried it. Speak from experience. Already tried it. Everything else, I'm good at. Don't worry about that. Acrobat, Adobe, man, it's my best friend. The 4506T is a tax document that allows a lender to request your record and transfer the taxes you filed. Once they start talking to the man, you're on your own. You holler at me, the ones that don't ask for the man, you can ride out. Any questions about that part? Yeah, gotta be. On the business side, gotta be questions. Especially for the ones that already got something registered, or the ones that's thinking.
Oh, well, I got a question.
Well, let me see, he has his hand
I
up.
want
Go
you
ahead.
to explain the net 30s again when it comes to the real estate aspect.
So when you say when it comes to real estate aspect, tell me what you mean.
What can I spend my net 30s?
All right, so, and that's why, how I had it, like, a net 30 can be any, like, let me see. I could show you a list, but showing you a list of the net 30 is the same thing as me saying it, like, if you do real estate, it's not about finding something that pertains to real estate is what I'm telling you. I don't give a damn what you do, you be a zookeeper. If you find 10 net 30s, just do them, because all you're needing is the history to report to the business you formed. When you go to someone for real estate money, they're not looking at who you messed with. They're looking to see what you did. They don't care. Just like your personal credit. Capital One don't care if you ever dealt with them, but if your credit good, they'll deal with you. It's the same thing, it don't change. So if you a zookeeper and you did 12 paint company net 30s and you did them on time, raised the limits, paid them on time, all they gonna see is you got good business credit scores. So when you ask for something, if you're asking for something to do something for what you formed, if you do real estate, but you say I do real estate, but I'm needing money to start a medical marijuana thing, they may not do that because that's not what you formed it as. But if you have a business formed, whoever you deal with don't matter as long as you do right by them. That's it. Because whoever you're asking money from is not going to be the person that did you net 30 with. That's going to be a bank or a lender. That's how that works. So it don't think because you do apparel, I got to go do all net 30s with apparel. You'd be all night trying to find that. You could Google net 30. That's why I put it specific in there. I have it in my package, and that's also why I didn't, because you're going to pay me for that information. So the people you want to deal with, just being real, you pay for that. The people you deal with are going to be who you deal with. The person you want to get the money from is 9 times out of 10 not going to be the same person. Banks don't do net 30s. Either you need some money from us or you don't.
A lot of money on flipping the house.
Flipping the house, I got something for that coming up after this segment. I got something for that. I got something, I told you before, I got something for flipping that ain't even real. You ain't gonna believe it. But I gotta get it out to the people. Because it's too easy. Too easy, man. And you in real estate too. That's why I say, like, before the next question, I'm good on, I'm not saying this any way to you, I'm good on anybody trying to be an agent. Because I know who in front of me. Then being an agent is cool. But if you tell me your goal, I'm gonna say, this is how you do that. You've done it already though, so it don't matter. I'm just saying, well, how much time it take to be an agent?
Good year.
Like tests and all that?
Yeah,
I could have did 10 properties by the time
I'm just saying.
if you say you're trying to flip, if you tell Jatavious, I want to flip property, I want to learn how to do that. I'm gonna say, here go 2 ways you could do it. They ain't got shit to do with being an agent. If it took a year and you serious, I just told you that dude, I got him 50 grand, he in the house already. Man, I got the house going, man, it'll be done in 45 days. It'll take you that long to figure out the name of the person you agent up under. And I know what he's doing because I've done the same thing he's doing. He just do it more often. I'm busy, but he get out there and get it. So I'm gonna talk about that.
See, the goal is the land and the properties.
Land?
The land
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
properties.
What I'm gonna be talking about is different as far as land, but obtaining the property, that's easy, bro.
Yeah, the land is real though.
That's easy. Literally. Oh, you fly. Yeah. That's what's up?
Directly, where do you find your trade lines on that? The ones that you have open?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I have been on there and was starting some a few weeks ago, and then I didn't exactly open it, but it said I did, so it reported, and I can't find where.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It was.
If you did Shirtsy, it ain't gonna say Shirtsy. If you did Granger, it's not gonna say
Will
Granger.
it show you on the website?
It'll show you on the bureau report too. Yeah. Now, if you did, like, if you told me you did 4, and all 4 had one trade, I might be able to guess. All 4 might have only went to one bureau, then I'll know for sure all of them reported
Okay.
here. So you won't
I'll
know.
look back- I'll look back on there.
It'll report, yeah, you
I'll
want
dig
to
it
dig,
out.
like,
Yeah, I'll dig it out.
because they won't know. You can call the actual person you deal with, they still won't know how I report. They won't tell you the name. They won't say we report as merchant, wholesale, whatever. They don't know.
Well, I know the 2 that I was on, I just didn't think I had signed it up. I was looking through it, trying to decide whether I wanted to open up.
Depending on when you did it.
I think I ended up,
Depending on when you did it, timing wise, it'll show. I just can't tell you which one is which.
yeah, this was just.
I can't tell you which one, unless it was the only one on that, like, and then that was what I just did recently, that's the only way I'll be able to know, process
Yeah.
elimination. Outside of that, you will not know.
Okay.
Unless you find somebody smart at Granger and they say, yeah, we report as wholesale under code 12, but
Yeah.
good luck with that. And most of them don't even know the name of the company they work for.
Oh, well.
The process of getting your business, your LLC business address, you can't really use like a PO box. You really can't use your own address. What's the-
You could use a box. Most people say don't use a box from a shipping perspective, because when you do virtual, it's the same thing. They'll tell you don't use a PO, but then do virtual, bro, that's the same thing.
That's what I thought.
I just be laughing at some people that don't do PO box, I'm telling you. You can do a virtual though, bro, you do realize virtual means non-existent? You do know that means this is not a real location that I own. Damn, you're right, bro. Right, dude, virtual mailbox here is gonna be at UPS, pack and ship. It's just not work. I set that up for people. Like, that's how I know. So that's a public record thing, bro. Because a physical address makes people feel, and that part is true. In a public record, it's easier to go that way because the understanding is a P.O. box is never one location for one person. There's always more than one P.O. box. But it doesn't stop the fact that you have a specific one, 267, 268. The general address of Wilma Rudolph and whatever it is, everybody shares that. And for shipping, you do, again, hair and nails, she can't get them bundles, can't get them bundles in that P.O. box. You know what I'm saying? She got the little box. So you need the big P.O. box with some bundles in it. Yeah, you gotta have the big box. But people ask me that when I help them too, and I'm like, listen, if you do virtual, and then they say, well, don't do home. All of that is just from public record. That's all I'm saying. Nobody's gonna debate that. Like, there's nothing wrong because you can, what about the people that have in-home businesses? So if you tell me I can't use a home, what happens to my using it? So do virtual, even though I'm a home business, and then I know when I'm doing, here's the nugget, for real. When you do applications, whether it be obtaining personal or business credit, all of that plays a part in whether they approve or deny you. That's why public records matter. I got 1,000 collections at one address, right? So this person that automatically approves people, no matter if you got bad credit or not, is gonna not approve me just because of that address. That's why when you're repairing credit, you hear people talk about how that raises your score. It's not that it actually raises your score, it just allows them to remove stuff easier. I would just tell you the truth, because I do it. I do it. So, addresses, what does address and name, misspelled name got to do with my credit? It's not that it raises the score, it's that it makes it easier to remove the negative items, because whatever they had 10 years ago when you dealt with them, you were Chris Russell then, and you stayed on Water Park, I done took off that they missed your middle initial in your Water Park. Now when I disputed with them, I say, where the hell y'all get that from? That ain't on my credit. And they can't go back and see it because it's been 10 years. They barely got the application you first did with them. That's why repairing credit is fun for me, because I know this stuff. So it's not like, man, I hope I can get it off. I already know the game. So it's the same way. All of that's just public record and convenience. That's all it is. Somebody hit their hand up. Like Bobby Brown. Yeah. Somebody had a hand up? It was China, you all right? I know, man. I know. I'm gonna go do it over there, man. I'm telling you, the head get heavy after a while, I'm trying to tell you. Nobody had a question? Nobody? Oh, I'm gonna take a break on y'all now. All right, we're gonna finish up. I'm just trying to get sleepy eating on that pizza. Yeah. Mike, shake, 1, 2. I got me feeling like Bobby. Yeah. You ready, Josh? I ain't gonna lie, I done had some slides, I gotta hear him finish up. I'll be back here going to sleep. I'll be the same, I'm going back there gone, Josh, I wish you could have seen it. Bro, I'm going back there gone. I don't wanna be rude, but I was gonna take a place up here while I was talking. I
You
ain't
don't
gonna
get
do it.
tired in the middle of the day because you get up so early.
I don't crash, man, I don't know what it is.
I crash around lunch
I'm gonna say
every
I'm
day.
different. I go to bed at 2, be on the game. I'm on the game all night, and I get up at 5. I don't know.
So you only go 3 hours of sleep?
I get 4 hours every day. 4 hours. But it's been like that since high school. So in college, I remember I was joining a fraternity. I leave, what I was doing. I got 8 o'clock.
You know what?
Right.
I didn't say, oh, no, I said leave what I was
Over
doing.
top of it. He went right over top of it.
Hey, man.
He went right over it.
Yeah, man, I got an 8 o'clock class. Appreciate that, good brother. All right. Mm-hmm. What?
Hello, baby was tripping.
Bruh, I'm over here tripping on. Man, I don't know. Okay, hold on. Let me backtrack. I don't know why that thing be flipping. As a resource, I have a partnership with lending partner, that's Deliver Capital. If you have over 650 FICO, across the board, no collections or charge-offs, and less than 8 inquiries, I guarantee we're about to get this money. That's just what it is. I guarantee it because they guarantee it. That's their qualifications, not mine. These requirements are more precisely the norm for most lenders, but may vary credit score-wise. Most people, 2 years, no collections, charge-offs. Some of them will even with that. But of course, the better you are, the better it is. And the inquiry part is that's pretty concrete. Can't have a lot. Dispelling the myth. Freezing any reports does not help approval. It only prevents information from being accessed. That's a fact. I'm disproving the myth, but that with a fact. Like, freezing don't help anything, it just stop. But if you say, I still got it, or I got it because I froze it, you wouldn't know that. Because they're not gonna tell you, hey, you froze that and that's why we gave it to you. No, it stops them from being able to access. And then in most cases, if they can't access it at all and they need to, they're gonna deny you anyway. So let's not wiggle and try to be slick. Let's get right before we try to make a decision. If that takes more time, I'd rather you sacrifice and take more time than to try to wiggle. Most businesses will not obtain business auto loans without PG in their first vehicle, i.e. considering the price of the vehicle. So if you got a business and you've been in business, you've done enough, now I didn't say listen to the combination. Not just been in business, but have enough business credit history. You could have a business for 10 years and have no credit history because you've dealt with no one, you just existed as a business and you independently talked to clients and provided services. You didn't do no DUNS number, you ain't do no net 30, you ain't do nothing. You just existed. And you might not have even set up an LLC or anything, you just got a license, like you said, like a typical barber. He gets his barber license, and as long as the barber shop has a license, he's a business owner to him. To the state, he's not. But he is a licensed barber. That's not the same thing as having a business though, or a business owner. But he is self-employed, so it can't get tricky. But your PG that vehicle, meaning personal guarantor, so when you go to get a business auto loan, even if you've been in business over 2 years, if you don't have any history, they're gonna make you sign as the owner. It'll report on your personal credit, right? You gotta be clear with these people when you talk to them. I don't want this report on my personal credit, business credit, whatever. They're gonna determine that based off the history. So if it reports to your personal credit, that's because you don't have enough business credit, and they'll tell you that. Now the problem comes when you do have enough business history, then it's you don't have enough business auto history. So in most cases, your first time you're gonna PG it. That's fine. Pay it on time, pay it off. Now after that, you can, for the most part, if you got enough history, rock on and get autos without it reporting to your personal. That's the part TikTok, YouTube, all the sensational guys and women don't tell you. They'll tell you can get it without PG in it. Okay, well I guarantee you if that's the case, you gotta have at least more credit than the vehicle you're trying to get. So if the vehicle's $25,000, you had to have done 30, 40, 50,000 worth of business credit just for them to give it to you without personal guarantor. That's how that works. Now, would they tell you that? No, because I'm on TikTok and I gotta get you to follow me, and I know some things. I'd rather just get it to you straight up like this, so then you can know before you go try to make an uninformed decision. Your personal credit does matter when establishing business credit. That's going back to that point earlier when I was talking about not in terms of the nets. When I say this, I'm talking about going against the whole freezing thing, because I know I got some stuff going on and I'm trying to wiggle. But the problem is, if you know you're going into making a decision that you ain't as informed about, they're going to want to see what you did on the other side. If it's frozen and they can't see it, we done with you. It's a simple decision for them to make. Or they'll say, you know what? It's cool we can't see that. I need $25,000 now. They're going to get you one way or the other to make it work for them. But the more educated you are, the better you can be prepared. Like, okay, well, let me get my personal right. That's the first step. Unfreeze it. Get my personal right. Then I'm able to start building my business credit. And in some cases, when you try to build business credit, if your personal is froze, you want to be able to get anything. They got to check you. A business doesn't have, no business runs by itself without an owner. You have somebody authorized. Yes, you can buy houses and invest in real estate strictly through your business, and it will not report to your personal credit. How? I just told you. Build the history up. Now, here's the other part that I said I was going to speak about, which might be on the next slide. Oh, yeah. Okay. I want y'all to pay attention to this. So, most people that are obviously black and want to get into real estate want to do flipping, whether it be rent, whether it be buy, sell. All right? Most of y'all are here, right? Y'all want to, that's where the money at, real estate. So, that guy I was telling you about in Indiana, what he's doing is called utilizing hard money. Now, I'm going to say this because I know somebody can hear me saying this, and if it's recorded, they play it back like, no, I'm not here to debate with nobody. I'm talking about what I know, not what I think. Hard money is private money. Hard is just a separate way of saying it. Private money. Us in here, we get together and get $1,000. We got 20 grand. We go tell somebody that's an investor, we got 20 grand for you if you sell this $500,000 property. I need my piece back. Obviously, all of us in here are going to get a very small piece off that profit because it's all of us, right? So there's organizations that exist, I'm speaking from personal experience, that exist that do that. So the guy I was dealing with in Indiana, he uses it. So I talked about that 50 because on the back end, even though the hard money is funding his entire project, the entire rehab, so he found a property, it was bad, $25K, it's going to take about 80 to fix it. I'm at 105. It can sell for 200. We all understand it's a $95,000 project. He'll get away. Company, you're the hard money company. You getting 20, so he made 75. That's a great flip, right? Some of us work all year to get that. So he wanted that 50 because when you, I'm gonna show y'all the people in front of us are just, they're so cold, man. It's cold. I love it. Not them, but I love the coldness. So it's like that 50 when you go to get a hard money loan, right? Most of them will do up to 70% of the project. So I want you to understand the difference. They'll give you 100% to fix it, right? So it's 25, it takes 70. 95 ARV, that's called after repair value. That's what it costs after we estimated the fix and what it costs to sell it. But what it sells for, obviously you want it to be more than 95, so you profit. They're going to give you, so that 95 crib when it's done will sell in this neighborhood for 150. So that's 55 grand, right? They're going to give you 70% of that 150. If that 70% covers the 95, stay with me, the 95, you don't owe them nothing. So it's just math. So let's say, I threw it in percentage out there, I know I couldn't do quick. Let's say that 70%, the 70% of the 150 is close to 75. I'm not sure how far that is, but it's not the 90 something. So you'll say, okay, I got 20 I got to bring to the table. That's all you bring to the table. Now you say, what you take is that means then, if I find a company that do more than 70%, or I find a cheaper property, everything paid for. That's correct. So the trick he's doing, when you do a hard money loan, you got to find contractors, people that do the physical work. So I'm gonna show you how you hustle. This is how you hustle a hard money loan, or even if you don't hustle it, it's still great to do. Interest is ugly on a hard money loan, let me say that first. It's ugly. Don't talk to me about the interest being bad. I don't wanna hear no guru say don't do it. Bro, this is the quickest way for us as black people to get into the game of real estate. You go do hard money. Why? Because if I ask you what you made a year, plus kids, going out to eat, smoke, hookah, whatever, you're not gonna have no money to just go invest into a property, all risk, right? There could be a property right across the street on Richardson. And I got a couple of guys I know that own properties right over there. I literally grew up on the same street. They own some of those properties. They didn't use hard money, but they understood where they were, the property. It's not gonna cost a lot when they sell. So, Josh do flooring, trying to do ceiling, she do drywall. When I go to talk to the hard money folks, oh, I just know some contractors. Yeah, I know some people that'll do it. They don't know we know each other. So, let's say them three do all the work, that 70,000, right? It really only costs 40 between them three. Stay with me, it costs 40. That extra 30, that's just us putting some extra on top. You get an extra 10, you must put it down in the 5, 10, 5, top 5, right? They don't know. As long as it's market price, it's all right. So what I'm saying is, this $25,000 property that costs 70 to fix, it's really 40, but 70 looks, because it's 25, they think 70 is pretty good, the hard money people. They may be intelligent, they may not, I don't know, it depends on which company. I'm gonna give you a couple to look at. So we good. Extra 30 on the table. 15 for me, 15 for them. They happy, because what they already quoted me, they're getting anyway. You understand what I'm saying? The original quote, they're getting that anyway. So they're gonna take an extra 5. And that's what that boy's doing. Take that 50. Oh, yeah, some contractors. Get his brother in to do it. Let's put that extra down the middle, on top of the profit. Because the property ain't sold yet. So the thing about a hard money loan, it's ugly up front. Stupid interest. If y'all watch HGTV, y'all was black, we all watch, we was on there flipping properties, right? Y'all see the little numbers in the corner of time, that's what they're using. That's what they're doing. It's called a hard money loan. If you pay attention, it'll say private or hard. So y'all probably seen the words and didn't know what it meant. You know, hard, okay, cool, hard, soft, a little bit light, okay, all right. But that's what it is. Private and hard, same thing. And so you got billionaires that invest in these companies, and you find one. I've done it, but it's like, it's so simple. Like, for some of y'all, it probably sounds like it's so simple. Like, the part that's most important is that you have a business. Now, I'm gonna show you a trick. You do hair and nails. I got it right this time. She do hair and nails. She go to the hard money people. She don't need to tell them that. Now, if it's Monica's hair and nails, they're gonna see that. It's not even that they'll care. Hard money is gotta be business to business. It's a beautiful situation. Take the ugly interest out of it. Because if you sell it quick like you're supposed to, it don't matter. Same thing on personal and business side. So Monica's hair and nails. She didn't got connected with Do Hard. That's who I partnered with. Do Hard Money. You can save that, and I'll say it again, dohardmoney.com. They'll rehab, they'll pay 100% of the rehab. 100% of the rehab, not the ARV, rehab. So if you find a property that's profitable, and you find some contractors that are cheap, y'all both win 2 times. If they're not cheap, you just lose a little bit of profit, you still make good money. So they ain't gonna care. They see LLC ready to ride, because the property you get into with them, that's an LLC. The property's an LLC. They're an LLC or a company, and you have the LLC. That's all it is, business to business. So what I'm telling you today, and this is why I got the, I do the construction like I do, because I know if I got 5 LLCs, I can just do that 5 times. 5 times, same person. I just gotta find a property. So what you see happening here in Clarksville, it don't happen so much, because growing up here, for us that's from here, we know this used to be considered rural at one point. Now it's a metropolitan. They're not fans of rural. Okay, so I had a property in Gracie. I was trying to, from personal experience, I was trying to flip a property in Gracie. None of y'all know where Gracie's at. I'm even trying to find it. But if you lived in Hoptown, you know. Gracie is literally probably the biggest Madison Street. I was literally there in the community, it's not even 1,000 people there, I don't think. There was a property there, and I was trying to use hard money. I was in it, do hard, rocking with me. I get in there, all the stuff's in there, I don't know if people died or what. But the house was so old. The only reason I couldn't finish the deal, the house was so old, it was sitting on dirt. Back in the day, they built houses with 2x4s, like way back in the day. So the house was so old, it had not been renovated under the bottom, that when I was doing my virtual meeting with them, they were like, this is not, I'm trying to convince them, come on, man, I don't know, just take this. Like, man, come on, man, I got a contract. He asked to do it on the phone. How much would it cost to do this project? $100,000. Now, dude would have told me. He said it like a dummy. Like, bro, you should have told him, I'm gonna get you on the back end, I got my own money. So he didn't, but he just kept it real. It's gonna cost money. So the dude was like, I don't know about that. If he would have said anything cheaper, I would have had that project done. But I probably would have made $100,000. I'd have made $100,000 easy off that project because the house was only $25,000. And it's right there on a little street. 4 bedrooms, 1 bath. Beautiful type home, but it's super old. I'm talking about I can go in there and look right at the dirt through the, I don't know why I hear flip, but it's a subfloor. So whatever, who said that? Somebody been around some men in here. Okay, all right. Yeah. Well, I can see through the subfloor and just the cracks, the dirt. So I'm like, oh shit, ain't no concrete, it's over with. They ain't gonna fund this. But I still pushed. And it was a learning experience because now I know the vital points. And I say that to say, we see stuff that be like either near the hood or just that he can be flipped, and we don't know, we just think, well, that's a sale. You gotta understand the market, the demographic of where you are, and then that big piece is network. That's where I'm always gonna win. If I know contractors and they owe me favors or I do right by them, that's extra. Because if I come to somebody and he quote me and I say, I'm gonna give you another 10 on top, who gonna say no to that? As long as I watch him and he do what he's supposed to do, now that's the other piece. What I'm talking about is easy. Getting into doing hard money and finding a property, this is easy. The hard part is managing the people. That's the hardest part. Managing the project. Anybody that flips properties, I guarantee if y'all know anybody that flips property, if they don't say that's the hardest part, I don't know what they're doing. The hardest part is managing the people, getting the work done. Because just think about it, everybody do flooring. Everybody do drywall, everybody do roofing, gutter, foundation, concrete, masonry, brick, mortar. Everybody does it. I know everybody. Everybody do that. The problem is, it sounds good before we get started. Then we get started, and you can get your money quick, because hard money comes in draws. So, projects don't get paid till they do them. And then they give them a piece. So what I'm explaining to you isn't just all glitz and glamour. You just understand it, and if you get with a good company, they'll walk you through it. I can't speak on nobody but Do Hard Money and Longhorn. Longhorn, they got the Texas thing, and they do Tennessee, just not Clarksville. They do metropolitan areas, Chattanooga and Nashville. Eventually Clarksville will come when this event center get done, and then will technically be, in my opinion, a metropolitan because all the money we made, which was already happening. But this is gonna bring more money. So when a person says, I want to get into real estate, that's why, what are you trying to do? Flip? Okay, like what? Like rent for good? And then if you get with like a company like Do Hard, they do Berg, what is that? Damn it, my brain won't like. Buy, buy, renovate, rent, refinance. That's Berg. They do that. They do the flip and sale. Beautiful company. You're gonna pay them $3,600. You get a beautiful ass software. You get somebody to hold your hand, and you can become a millionaire. And I'm just being honest with you. I've dealt with them. I've gotten busy the last few months, so not so much before. Plus, I was traveling back and forth to their little ass town, Gracie, and I was just getting irritated after a while. So I'm like, man, if y'all ain't gonna fund it, just say that, because I'm over wasting gas now. And if y'all not gonna fund it, I'll just pay my own money and knock this house down and rebuild it. Somebody just bought it, just bought that house a year later. And then understand the logic. This is why that was important to me. That house was 36 grand. I told them I'll give you 25 grand. They said, bet. I was pre-approved in, let's roll. I did the video, he was like, stairs are coming off the wall. I'm like, shit, damn, I should have duct taped. And so, it was terrible, it was a bad house, but I understood the flip because the next door guy renovated his home, it'll go for about 150. Other guy had about a 1995 home, probably about 175. So listen to me, the math is easy, 25, oh yeah, I'm about to make 100 off this one. So that's how I knew, like, that's how you gotta go into flipping. Don't just wanna do it, you gotta understand numbers and semantics. So when I seen he was like, he went for it, it's on an acre of land. So then you do your research, how much does an acre of land cost, whether it's here or wherever? Okay, cool, that's cheap. So y'all want 36 for the house and the land, which means you know the house ain't shit. So, it's common sense, you know the house ain't worth nothing. So I'm like, all right, bet, I'll pull out of that deal and get y'all the 25. I'm gonna knock it down. Because every dude that come out here to do foundation say, hey, you need to knock this down, man. I was hoping I could save it so I can make that flip, because I don't want to pay more money to rebuild, but I'll pay more money to rebuild if I can make 200,000 over 100. See what I'm saying? So, when I met the concrete guy, let me keep his number. Yeah, I could talk my damn ear off about concrete, so I'm like, I'm gonna keep his number, because I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but I know he know under this house it ain't good, it's old. So he was nice and like, man, I probably would knock it down and rebuild it. I'll do the concrete for you for, good job. And I'm a masonry too. Oh yeah, I gotta keep your number, because nobody deal with brick more than them. Stone or whatever, so I know he can build something. I don't know. Once his piece done, you got it, get out my way. Like anybody can do the framing, that's just, no pun intended, Jose Hector, anything, get them going out there, get it built, get the frame, and they pulled out of it because of the foundation. The foundation was so rough. And normally when you're building a home, if the foundation isn't good, nobody will fund you. Because they know all else fails, if you try to build on top of something bad, what's it gonna do? It's gonna fall straight through. So I said, okay, good learning experience. But I seen how it worked. And so now I'm like, oh, I got all the pieces, I understand now. Somebody got an LLC. It's gotta be an LLC. Kentucky is prime state to flip because everything is cheap, the land is cheap. I mean, especially hot town. It's crazy up there. And it's ridiculous how cheap stuff is. And so the problem though with how Hopkinsville is, and I bring that up because that's the closest city where you could be successful flipping, in my opinion, outside of using your own money. Hopkinsville is too urban. Not rural, too urban. Everywhere you go, you can be near the hood now. Outside the outskirts. But you ain't flipping nowhere there because all those homes is family homes. So you need that little 30, 40, flip, but I forgot all the hoods y'all got up there, DA and all the east side, all that, all y'all call that up there. You down the street. So the person that's funding you, they gonna do the research. Numbers will be there, but Tyrone in the corner. So they can't, and to remember it's people. It could be just like how we sitting in here, they don't put $1 million into this company. So you taking a piece of everyone else's piece. But that's how hard money works. And I want them to be very, very clear, like, if you want to get into flipping, you can take 10 years, 15 years, save up 40 grand, go buy that $40,000 house, sell it and all that. You don't even realize what I said in the very beginning was leverage. That's how you leverage. Just having the business, and literally, the even better part, most of those companies, they don't even care what your credit looks like, because the value is in the property. The value is in the property. So when you think about it, there's no way to lose. Like you can't like, there's no way to lose in that equation. You can't sell it or you don't sell it quick. You think interest is eating you up, you just let it go and they'll sell it themselves, bring it out. This is actually a beautiful situation to me. A rich person may not favor it because again, they're rich and they got the money, but they may have came up off hard money. So don't listen to what they're saying at that moment. You gotta see where they are in that moment. To the everyday person, this could be a beautiful thing. You just gotta find the property, know the neighborhood, understand the severity, and then it's okay. And then I would suggest getting tight with the contractors prior to, because all the hard money people are gonna see is the scope of work, what needs to be done. The minute you tell them you're using hard money, they got you. Now, instead of splitting it and giving them extra, they're gonna charge you extra and you don't know it because you don't know market price. That's when Google comes into play. How much does it cost to do flooring? So, can't nobody get over on you if you pay attention. That's all I'm saying. Can't nobody get over on you if you pay attention. But if you don't pay attention at all and don't know nothing, but if you know something, you can, hey man, we need extra team, we gonna run it like that. They ain't gonna say nothing, they don't care, they just gonna do the work. So if somebody's wanting to get into flipping, Jatavious says, I would concern myself with hard money. Outside of that, you got peer-to-peer. I'm not even gonna display it, I'm just gonna talk about it. You got peer-to-peer, me asking you, can I borrow 50 grand? Come on now, we know how that's gonna work. Business to business, which we know what they're gonna ask for. We know what they're gonna ask for, and if you got it, they might rock with you. Because Jatavious gonna finesse a couple things. But if they run into the credit, then see how that works. So Hard money where you take out you're excluding the idea of having good credit, and I just gotta have a business, and this business will give me money, I don't care who's giving it, it's just for this particular project, they will fund it. Some, Do Hard does 100, Longhorn I think does 75. So understand there's two percentages that matter, the rehab percentage and the after repair value that they'll pay, the percentage of that. So if they do 100 of the rehab, that's where you're good. If they don't give you the 100 of the ARV, you know you gotta bring the difference, but you're not tripping, because even if you gotta bring 25 grand to the table, you're making 100. So then you gotta ask yourself, how long would it have taken me to come to the table with 100,000 by myself? Some of us that would take, what, 20, 30? And now you can somewhat understand that if I find the right lender and I got a business, I can literally do this in a matter of days. And that's not just in my experience, that's how it works. The dude I'm talking about, I just told you, he about to close. He about to close in about 3 weeks, and I just got the money this week. But he had already prepped the property and all that, he just needed that funding, okay, good, I got it. But he used hard money, like, sometimes he uses it all the way, he don't need no extra bread, he just, and if he was here or he's on the phone, he'd tell you too, but I gotta look like it. So he talk about it like it ain't nothing, oh yeah, man, I got about 5 more I gotta do. And so that's what kind of intrigued me. My mentor intrigued me, and then like talking to him, and he's younger. He's like, oh yeah, man, I do it in Indiana, man. You need to come up here. It's prime, dude. Indiana. And I went up to Indianapolis, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, and Detroit's even, oh my goodness, if it wasn't for gentrification, I'd have bought half the neighborhoods up there, because everything up there is $4,000 or $5,000. We're talking 2,500 square feet, 2 stories, all in Detroit, but it's Detroit too. So good luck finding it somewhere it ain't or board it up. And so when you're doing hard money, they ain't gonna look at that. They see that boarded up in graffiti. Oh, no, we don't care if it just needs new doorknobs. Nope. We seen the graffiti, we know what you're doing. But I'm just giving you that example because where some of y'all are from or traveling to, this is what people are doing. Don't just think it's all money saved and that's what they did. No, some of these people, if you talk to the right person, they'll be honest. Somebody else, they don't care that they're alive. No, man, I had to work hard, get out the mud. And, you know what I'm saying? I got it out the mud, I was able to buy that, man, you ain't do that. Use hard money, man. Private money. And if you know somebody and you're a well-respected person, it's even easier to do it. If you're doing peer-to-peer anyway. All they want to see is the profitability. And that's what's happening here on the outside of hard money when you go through the hoods here and see like new construction being done. It wasn't that they don't understand it's the hood. They just know they're going to politely give people the money where they are already. They ain't got to push you out like back in the day. They'll just give you more money than your house is worth and then buy it from you and sell it for more. It's happening on Daniel Street, it's happening everywhere. So that's just like that piece. And if a person needs to revisit that, they can with me, but if you're choosing to flip, if you want to buy and save and do all that, that's fine. I'm a fan of not wasting time and trying to save as much as I can because I don't know how long I'll be here. Outside of that, I mean, you go to the bank, somebody else might say do the mortgage, some mortgage company, banks and mortgage companies do the program where they'll give you the money, like imagine how long